Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into something fascinating. We're decoding this highly intentional system for boosting personal success fast and making it stick.
Yeah, we looked at a whole stack of material you sent over: habit research, high achiever analysis, blueprints for pretty radical change.
And our job really is to boil it all down. We want to give you the ultimate operating manual, kind of the shortcut to understanding the how of building a truly exceptional life.
Right. And what jumps out immediately from these sources is, look, this isn't your typical motivational fluff, It's not about just feeling good for a moment.
No fleeting inspiration here.
Exactly. It's about building a serious system. The core thing these materials wrestle with is that huge difference between, well, just letting life happen to you.
Just existing.
Versus intentionally grabbing the reins and crafting a powerful path forward. And to do that, the sources all seem to agree. You need a solid playbook, one based on, frankly, radical action.
Okay, let's unpack that playbook then. Starting with what the sources call the fundamental mindset shift. And it's a big one. I think it hits close to home for anyone feeling stretched thin or burnt out.
Oh, yeah.
This idea that being always available doesn't actually make you valuable. In fact, it often does the opposite. It can make you replaceable. So what's the real thinking behind that?
Well, it really boils down to the principle of scarcity, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Value, almost by definition, is magnetic, precisely because it's unique, it's rare, it takes effort to get.
Okay.
So if you're constantly accessible, always saying yes, if your time feels like this bottomless pit for others, you're kind of accidentally signaling that what you offer isn't that special, it's common.
It's like that cognitive thing, right? If I see an amazing piece of art just once, it's profound. But if it hangs in my own hallway and I walk past it 50 times a day,
You stop seeing it.
yeah, I stop really seeing it. The constant exposure just dulls the appreciation.
Precisely. And that constant availability, without clear lines drawn, it just quietly chips away at your perceived worth. The sources draw this really sharp distinction you need to absorb. Are people seeking you out because you're valuable, or are they just using you because you're available?
That's a tough question to ask yourself.
It is, but one path leads to respect, being able to call the shots, basically. The other path, it leads straight to resentment, burnout, because you've let yourself become a utility, not, a core asset.
So the big actionable shift here, the power move, is pretty profound. Stop chasing opportunities. Instead, become the kind of person opportunities have no choice but to chase.
But that can sound a bit like just nice words, right? Practically, how do the sources say you actually build that value?
Yeah, it's not about ego. Definitely not. It's all about measurable output. Becoming that beacon means you have to obsessively focus on, well, two main things: mastering your skills and rock-solid integrity.
Okay, skill and integrity. Building yourself means carving out focused, non-negotiable time every single day to sharpen your thinking, to hone your craft. It means letting your results, the actual proof, speak louder than any self-promotion or noise.
Results, not hype.
Exactly. When your competence is just undeniable and people know they can trust your word, your presence itself becomes rare and therefore valuable. You're not begging for a seat at the table anymore.
You're building your own table.
You're building a table where maybe the only seat left is the one right next to you.
All right, that intense focus on building yourself leads us right into the next piece: the need for immediate action. And that means facing down, the biggest enemy of getting anything done: procrastination.
The time trap.
Oh, the time trap. Yeah, we have to just state the brutal truth that comes through in these sources. When you say you're killing time, time is actually killing your potential.
That little whisper of, oh, I'll do it later, that's just your weaker self talking. It's a psychological shield, really, hiding laziness and often fear. And the cold, hard reality is that later almost always morphs into never.
And the sources link that inertia, that delay, directly to needing to embrace radical responsibility, right? You have to stop waiting for everything outside to line up perfectly.
Yes. Stop blaming your parents or the government or the economy or not having enough money. Winners, the sources say, accept their backstory, whatever it is, but they absolutely refuse to play the victim.
They own it.
They own it. They get that you can't choose the hand you were dealt, but you are 100% absolutely responsible for how you play those cards. The sources bring up examples like Oprah Winfrey, starting with basically nothing, facing huge adversity early on.
Right.
And the key insight wasn't just, oh, she got rich. It was that she made a conscious, radical choice to own her story that let her redirect all that energy spent blaming into energy spent building.
And building means getting uncomfortable. Which brings us to the second big solution here. You have to escape your comfort zone. It's mandatory.
Your comfort zone feels so good, doesn't it? It feels safe. But it's actually a silent dream killer. The sources are crystal clear on this. Zero growth happens inside the walls of comfort. Success lives outside.
So you have to embrace failure.
You have to adopt the mindset that failure isn't just okay, it's necessary. But you fail proudly. You fail loudly if you have to, but you always fail forward. Learn from it.
I like the seed analogy they used here. If that seed just stays comfy under the soil, safe and sound, it's just a seed.
Right.
It only becomes what it's meant to be, that strong tree, by going through the pressure of cracking its shell, the struggle of pushing through the dirt, facing the sun, the wind, the tough stuff.
That discomfort, that friction, that's what creates the pearl, right? And once you've kind of accepted that necessary discomfort, you need a way to make positive change stick. And this is where consistency comes in. The sources pinpoint consistency as the real secret weapon.
It's not about being smarter, necessarily.
Not necessarily blessed with a higher IQ, no. Successful people simply execute with this unwavering compounding consistency, day after day.
And what's really interesting is the framework they give for achieving that consistency. It feels less like raw motivation and more like a method. They start with the keystone habit.
That's right. Think about the keystone in an old Roman arch. That single stone right at the top center.
Yeah, it holds everything together.
Exactly. It locks all the other stones firmly in place. A keystone habit is like that for your life. It's that one core behavior that when you nail it consistently, it just triggers a whole cascade of other good habits.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, maybe for you, it's waking up before dawn. That single act might automatically lead to going for a run, maybe meditating, planning your day. It locks your whole morning routine, maybe your whole day, into place.
Okay, I see. Find that one linchpin habit.
Find the linchpin, and once you've got it, you apply what the sources call the law of 100.
The law of 100. Okay, now we're getting specific.
This is where the mechanism really clicks in. The law of 100 is simple but tough. You do that one keystone habit every single day for 100 days straight. No weekends off, no I don't feel like it days.
100 days straight. Why 100?
Well, the sources suggest that 100 days is roughly the amount of focused repetition needed to really carve out and solidify a new neural pathway, especially one that faces resistance. This isn't just about willpower. It's about physically rewiring your brain.
So, okay, if my bad habits are like these wide, easy highways in my brain, the 100 days is like taking out a machete and hacking a brand new, difficult path through a really dense forest.
That's a perfect analogy, and that's where neuroplasticity kicks in. That consistency, swinging the machete in the same spot day after day, makes that new hard path gradually easier. Eventually, it becomes the default, the well-worn path.
It's the effort itself that reshapes the brain physiologically.
Precisely. And that, the sources argue, is exactly how you build a consistency muscle. It gets stronger with use.
It makes me think of that famous story about Jerry Seinfeld and his calendar technique. He didn't just wait for inspiration to write jokes.
No, he committed to writing every single day. And he'd put big red X on his calendar for each day he did it.
And the whole goal was just don't break the chain of X's.
Don't break the chain. Simple as that. Every X gave him this tiny hit of dopamine, a little reward signal in the brain, which reinforced the habit. He basically got addicted to the process, not just waiting for the result. That small daily action built unstoppable momentum. Success became almost mathematical.
That kind of commitment leads us perfectly into the final stage, the most intense part, the 6-month transformation blueprint. And the promise here is huge, basically, that half a year of locked-in, focused effort, cutting out all the excuses and distractions, can fundamentally change your life's trajectory.
That sounds incredibly demanding.
It is demanding, no doubt, but it's also structured. It's not just try harder. This blueprint lays out 5 non-negotiable steps. Step 1 is the bedrock. Crystal clear goals.
Not just vague wishes. Absolutely not. Vague goals get you vague results. You can't just want to be richer or get fitter. Your goals have to be precise, measurable, and have a deadline. A specific weight, a defined income number, a clear skill you want to master. Your brain needs a fixed target to lock onto.
Okay, measurable goals. Step 2, relentless execution. This sounds like where the real discipline kicks in.
This is where you stop negotiating with yourself, with that inner voice that always wants comfort. Your mind is basically wired to seek the easy path, so your actions have to be decided before the moment comes.
Pre-decided actions.
Pre-decided. And the key insight here is that motion creates emotion. Don't wait until you feel motivated to act. Just act. The feeling, the momentum, it follows the action because doing something, anything, releases the dopamine you need to keep going.
Okay, I have to push back a bit on step 3. It talks about taking complete control over time and standards and insists on no neutral ground. That sounds exhausting. Are the sources saying no rest at all for 180 days? Is it just nonstop intensity?
That's a really important clarification. No neutral ground doesn't mean no rest. It means no unintentional time wasting. Every moment needs purpose. Either you're actively moving towards your goal or you're intentionally engaging in planned restorative rest.
So mindless scrolling on your phone is out.
That's the forbidden neutral ground. Procrastination, aimless drifting, that's out. You have to treat every second as precious. And at the same time, you have to consciously raise your standards. Growth only happens when you push yourself.
Like lifting weights.
Exactly. If you're comfortable doing 10 reps, the new standard becomes 12. If you usually put in an hour of focused work, the new standard is 90 minutes. You have to constantly operate just slightly above your current capacity to force adaptation.
Got it. Okay, step 4 is building the unshakable mindset, treating your mental game as seriously as your physical training.
Yeah, your mind is a battlefield, and you've got to defend it fiercely. The sources go beyond just think positive. They suggest structured techniques. You need to actively manage your self-talk, speak in absolutes. I will finish this. I will figure this out.
Taking control of the narrative.
Taking control. And they also suggest doing what's called a pre-mortem. Before you even start, identify all the ways you might fail or get derailed and plan your responses now. That strips setbacks of their emotional shock and keeps your mindset resilient when challenges inevitably pop up.
Smart. Preparing for the storm before it hits. And finally, step 5, execution urgency. Speed matters.
You have to become an execution machine. Action dissolves fear. If you sit around waiting for the perfect time or until you feel 100% ready, you'll be waiting forever.
You'll never move.
You'll never move. Speed builds momentum. While other people are stuck analyzing and debating, you need to be 10 steps down the road. Moving fast, recognizing that action itself often clarifies the best path forward. You learn by doing, quickly.
Wow, that really pulls the whole intense strategy together. It brings us right back to that core idea that the real fight for success isn't against anyone else. It's internal. It's personal.
That's the ultimate takeaway, isn't it? The battle is you versus you. It's your ambitious self fighting against your own innate laziness, your own fear. The real test of character is showing up and fighting that urge to quit every single day. That constant pressure is what forges the consistency you need.
And the final really profound point the sources hammer home is how this whole system ties into self-reliance. They actually say the fact that nobody cares about your struggles or your journey, that's your greatest strength.
It sounds harsh, but think about it. If nobody's watching your every move, you're free. You're free to fail spectacularly, to look silly, to try weird things, and to get back up again without needing anyone's permission or validation.
You have to validate yourself.
You have to prove yourself. You got to pick yourself, as they say. Stop waiting for someone to discover you or invite you or give you a lucky break. Think about J.K. Rowling getting rejected by, what, a dozen publishers?
Something like that.
She didn't wait for someone else's permission slip. She gave herself permission to keep going, to believe in her work, and ultimately to succeed on her own terms.
Which leaves us with that central, really provocative thought that kind of underpins all this urgency. The clock, it's ticking, and it just doesn't care if you feel ready or motivated or if you've got everything perfectly planned out.
Not one bit.
We always want to push the hard stuff off, don't we? Oh, I'll start next week, next month, definitely next year. But you have to ask yourself, what magic thing is going to happen between now and then? Is motivation just going to fall out of the sky? Is the fear suddenly going to vanish?
The world keeps spinning. Opportunities don't wait around, and time. Well, time is the one thing you absolutely cannot get back once it's gone.
So the question is, why wait? Why not now? Why not this minute? One small, intentional step taken right now, today, is infinitely more powerful than 100 perfect plans you keep polishing for next Monday. Choose growth. Choose it now.